Today is a very big day today, Bisons, because we are embarking on our first ever home DIY project in the Bison household. The plan is to add shelves onto the walls of the green room in the house. I want to have these shelves so that I can add things like plants, little knickknacks, picture frames, books, stuff like that, just to make the room more atmospheric and vibey like that. The plan is go to the hardware store, get the supplies that we need. We need to get wood, we might need to stain it, we need some brackets, some screws, and then we're gonna get this party started. So the question of the hour is, do we do walnut? Do we do English chestnut? No to special walnut.
There's more stains over yonder.
Dark walnut, maybe. Next up is finding the right bracket. Our inspo has kind of a floating shelf look, and I do like this industrial look, but it only holds 50 pounds. And I don't mind this look, and it holds 100 pounds. So I think we're gonna go with that option. But I am a fan of this look, but I feel like it's also trendy, and I don't feel like having to replace my brackets because they got outdated. Taking a second to absorb all of the wood. I'm sitting here in my living room, and you fellow Bisons know what this means. It is time for a haul. We just got back from Menards, so I'm going to show you everything that we got for our project, plus a few other things. I'm also going to say how much we paid for everything, so if you're looking for a similar project, you can kind of see what the cost might be. First, we have a stud finder with metal and AC scan. We needed to get this because there might be some water piping in one of the walls that we're going to be using, so we needed to be able to check that stuff out. The multi-scanner was $52. We also got 2 respirators for while we're staining so that we don't kill ourselves. Both of those were $25, so it was $50 for the 2 of them. Next, we've got screws that have a black head to them so that they match with the brackets that we got. So mounting hardware for 10 shelf brackets. So the screws altogether were $7.50 for everything. We also got batteries for the scanner. Batteries were $8.50. 2 foam brushes. These were 89 cents each. And then I picked up a pair of gloves because I need some work gloves while we work on this project, and they were $5. Got this very long level. It was $13. And then these are the brackets that we picked out. They were $10 a piece, and we got 20 of them. By far, brackets were the most surprising expense out of everything. I wasn't anticipating spending that much money on the brackets, but I did want to make sure that they could hold a lot of weight and wouldn't be ugly. Then we also got stuff that wasn't related to the project, so I'll still share. We got this temperature sensor that has a deer on it for the basement because we are going for a Wisconsin themed basement. Right now it's painted blue and white, which is completely not the aesthetic I'm going for, but I can't quite decide what colors I want to paint the basement. If you have any suggestions, feel free to comment. Also got a clear bird feeder. I just wanted to stick this by one of the lower hanging windows so that the cats could have some entertainment, and some bird seed to go with. This is the nut and berry blend. I picked this out because it says it attracts yellow finches, which we have a family of yellow finches by the house, so I wanted to make sure they were taken care of. A Kit Kat because you do need to refuel during your project. And then I'll show you the stains that we got, and the wooden planks once we're in the garage. But for the wood, we got 5 planks of 1 by 10 12-inch quality board. It was $127 for all of the wood. And then the finish was $70, and the varnish was $44. So I will do all of the math and put the total amount spent here. I would say if you wanted to do this project and you were looking to save a little bit more money on project, see about if you know anyone who has one of these where you could just borrow it for the project. Also, you might want to look into brackets very early on and pay attention to whenever there is a sale, because that could heavily save on the amount of money spent. So this is what we're working with. We've got a crystal clear top coat, and our wood stain that we're using is dark walnut.
This here is an orbital sander, and then I had to get the sandpaper with the holes in it with the Velcro because I accidentally got the ones with the adhesive and that didn't work at all and sawdust was just getting everywhere. So now I'm using this. This is 100 grit and then I'm finishing with 220 grit and then we're gonna stain finish. This was, I got it on sale during their, I can't remember what they call it, but I got this for $35, I think is the sticker price, and I think I got it for like $5 or $10 off. And then these pads were, they came with 15 and they're $10 each.
So we saw a good tip online where if you're sanding your second layer, it's hard to tell where you've sanded already. So we're going to use a pencil and just go through and draw squiggles so that we can keep track of our sanding progress.
Oh boy. Ah! Fuck! Updates! Oh! No!
We are using cotton towels and dipping that in the stain and then using circular motion to allow it to soak through and then wiping it down with a dry piece of cloth to kind of get any excess that's sitting on top.
You'll notice I didn't just throw these away. The reason is these rags, when they have the stain on them, the stain is very flammable, and as it dries it actually heats up and these can combust all by themselves. So you don't want to just like bunch them up and throw them in a trash can because they'll light on fire and burn your house down.
It is a new day. Sam did some mining off camera. He has done the first coat of sanding on all of the planks. So next up we need to do the second coat of sanding. I also did one set of staining on one of the planks, but turns out you're supposed to stir the stain. We did not stir the stain. Lesson learned. We'll be doing that next time. That's where we're at so far. I'll keep you guys updated as we stain if we learn anything else, but I'm gonna keep applying the technique that I showed you guys. That's what a person on YouTube said to do, so that's what I will be doing. But yeah.
Here is unstained, as is pine, is what we stained yesterday. Ever so slightly darker, but barely. Here is when you stir it.
It is day 3. We still have some more sanding to do on these planks. Coat on these is done. I'm still deciding if I want to do another coat or if we call this good. There are some spots that are still pretty light, but I don't know how to cover those without being super dramatic because I've already tried and that's what it looks like. I'm gonna do some more staining and sanding today. So we are experiencing a lot of lessons in our attempt to make some bookshelves. Did figure out how to get those little like divots in the wood. You just gotta glob a ton of stain on there and it'll fill the area. You just gotta be patient. Turns out stirring the stain helps you actually stain the wood. Who would have thought? But since, you know, I'm kind of getting kicked down a little bit by all the stupid stuff we keep doing, I am going to try and set up the bird feeder. And if this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might crash out, but let's see how this goes. So apparently if you leave your bag of birdseed out overnight, your neighborhood squirrel will rip multiple holes in it and get himself a nice little snack. Should have thought about this before I went to bed last night, but you know, every day is an opportunity to learn. After many trials and tribulations, bird feeder is now up. So Sam had added the clear coat finish onto one side of the boards. He's currently flipping them over so that we can sand the other side. It turns out you thought we were done making oopsies, we are not. So we had some issues here where the clear coat went on the other side. But yeah, next I'll show you how we are applying the clear coat.
What I did the first time was I would put the little container right there, and then this stuff like self-levels itself, so you don't have to worry about, like when you're painting a wall, you're worried about applying like the same amount of paint. You don't have to worry about that. You just worry about getting the stuff on there. And then when this stuff dries really quick, so like if you go over this spot and then you realize you missed a spot, you're kind of just screwed, because if you go over it again, it'll look worse. So get plenty of stuff on there and then apply it just like that with the grain. And this stuff holds in the brush pretty well. Brush gets pretty darn wet.
The day has finally come. We have completed adding the clear coat to both sides. Did 3 layers on both of them, and it is time to mount them. Originally, when I did the haul of the materials, we were going to do 4 brackets per board. We changed our minds because we're terrified that something's going to happen, so we're going to do 5 brackets instead. So we did go to Menards and purchase more hardware and more brackets. So next, we are going to be mounting them. Here's what the clear coat looks like. Try and show in the sun. I don't know if that will help. Here's what we're working with. brackets and the spacing and the
So,
technique?
Brackets are, we got a 8-foot wall here, which I think is 94 inches. 96 inches. Divided by 6 because we have 5 brackets, so there's 6 empty spaces. We wanted 6 even empty spaces. So each bracket, so this bracket is 16 inches off the ground. This bracket is referenced 16 inches from the top of this bracket. So top to bracket is 16 inches all the way up. Just spaced by fifths on the studs. Not evenly spaced per the wall, but we weren't able to do that with the studs. So we just found what we thought looked best and just did a bracket each of those studs. And looks good. Now we put the boards up.
Okay, Bisons, our project that we anticipated to take 2 days did in fact take 3 weeks, but here it is. But now that we have shelves, we need to christen the shelves, and I have the perfect 2 items for this. First, we have Fish Stories Told Here. Now, since it is almost September, beware of the magic black cats.
There you go, the shelf is full.
The shelf is done.
Full of decorations.
Well, Bisons, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to tell me all of the things that we did wrong in detail. It's good for the algorithm. And subscribe to join the herd.